Okay, so episode 10. We've made it to double figures. How have we made it to double figures? We don't know.
Yep.
But we're still here. We've got the whole gang together. This is like the first, well, not the first time, because obviously Podcast Paul was on recording for episodes 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But we've had to circumnavigate kind of around episodes and who's free and available and
between
other
interviews and other things.
other commitments and that. But quite an emotional episode, and I think we're going to feel many emotions talking about the topic we're talking about today.
Going back to a fan old favourite.
Yep, we're talking. We've actually promised this episode. I said this episode was like going to be out 3 weeks ago, but
Was that 6 weeks ago it was going to be out?
yeah, like better late than never, though I say.
That's it.
And it's here now.
That is it.
But yeah, we're talking about the beach bar for people that don't know, which probably isn't going to be a lot of you, but we're an inclusive podcast, so we're going to include everyone.
For any of our overseas listeners.
Yeah. We have the beach bar. What was I saying? We have the beach bar here. No, the beach bar was a local pub / restaurant. I think it's fair to say. Yeah.
Definitely was a restaurant.
Yeah.
We did food.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Anyway, it wasn't like, food as in like, oh, here's a toasty. There was like meals, but it was a local pub that sadly is no longer in existence because of a fire that was pretty devastating. And we'll touch on that later in the episode and whatnot. And we used to, I think it's fair to say, we all frequented it quite
7 days a week.
often. Well, yes, but
Some of us
a unique
worked there.
case
That's very true.
for you. And yeah, we're going to talk about it today. We're going to try and do it a bit of justice. We were actually going to do this on the anniversary of the beach bar burning down, which was September 20th.
20th,
Yeah.
Or 21st in the morning.
Around that, we're in the ballpark anyway. The week of its anniversary, at the very least. But now it's been, say announced, but it's not like there was like a massive presentation or like a game show or something that it's...
They just decided.
It's not coming back. It's not being rebuilt. Obviously, with the whole Rona situation, it's made it even more difficult than what it would have been to start with. So, unfortunately, we're not going to ever get to experience the beach bar again, but we should remember the good times, and that's what we're going to try
Well, that's what we're here to
and do. And obviously, we have to remember the fire, even though it wasn't a good time, per se. But
It was a good fire.
well, yeah.
It was a belter.
Yeah. So, yeah. John has our fact, like he always does.
Just a very basic fact. So the beach bar was actually built in 1875, and it was actually the public bathhouses for the area. And obviously it didn't get changed into our beloved beach bar, from what we remember it as, until 1987, which is when Graham and his family actually bought bought it and done it up as a pub.
I know. We're not going into stories yet, but I do have one. Funnily,
Nitty and gritty very early.
Funnily enough, this is not actually to do. Well, it is to do with the beach bar land, but it's not to do with the beach bar as the pub, if that makes sense. One of my relatives from long ago that is no longer with us actually owned the beach bar at one point. I've never told you about this.
No, you have not.
Well,
that's awesome.
There's actually quite a controversial story behind this, hence why I'm going into story mode. So he was a chauffeur, right? And he was a chauffeur for, I'm not sure if it was a lord or it was someone that was a high prestige,
Right.
owned a lot of property in that, and he owned the beach bar, which was like the bathhouses and stuff like that at the time. So this must have been around 1950 something. Don't quote me on that, but I'm just taking a guess. And he chauffeured the guy that owned it around for years and whatnot. And then this guy ended up dying, and he had no family, right? No immediate family, and he left the beach bar in his will to my relative who was his chauffeur, right? So
That's pretty cool.
he ended up getting it. It is cool until you hear the allegedly that's coming here, because I don't know if this is true or not. I'm not trying to drop any bombshells, because there might still be people alive that are kind of connected to this story, but I'm not too sure because I'm not looked into it. This is what I've just heard. It doesn't mean it's fact.
Yeah.
But it is controversial if it's true, and it kind of makes sense, because when I first heard it, I was like, I know, like, you probably get on with your chauffeur, right? I mean, I'm not in a privileged position to have a chauffeur, but I would imagine that you spend quite a lot of time in their company, that you would probably...
You would like to think you would go on with them, because if you didn't, they were just going to
Exactly.
Put you
It'd be,
into a tree again.
yeah.
Bit of sideways.
Just like a massive awkward silence. Next thing, tree. I got a bit skeptical hippo-wise when I was like, why did he just leave his land to his chauffeur, right? Now, like I said, this is allegedly, this is not fact, or it's not known fact anyway. I don't know if it's true or not, but what I heard is that the relative of mine that owned the beach bar, or had been given the beach bar land ownership, whatever you want to call it, his wife had a child, right? They had a child, and you know, you know where this is going.
I know exactly. I think I know.
And it's kind of ironic that I said that you spend a lot of time with a chauffeur. It probably appears that his wife spent a lot of time with the Lord, also because there was a bit of a contesting of. There was a rumor, right, of contesting the child's
Legitimacy?
not legit. Well, yeah.
Oh no, it was a child.
Yeah, yeah. It was confirmed as a child for sure, but yeah. So like it was something to do with the questioning who the father was, basically, and the one that they were alleging was the Lord.
Yeah.
Now, the theory is that he felt really guilty about this. And the Lord felt guilty about it, not the chauffeur. Like the chauffeur had no clue, and probably still didn't. And I've just kind of dropped this massive bombshell now. So, but we're
the door in a minute.
Yeah, big SWAT team rolling through the one window in the studio.
Rumbled.
Yeah, yeah. So apparently he felt really guilty because, well, I don't know if it was because he'd kind of messed the chauffeur over by sleeping with his wife, or the fact that he'd had a kid and never actually been in his life, and I don't know, maybe he thought it would get passed down to the kid if he left it to the chauffeur or something. But yeah, that was the controversial way that my lineage came into ownership of the beach bar.
Was the wife a chauffeur? I suppose she was in a way, but
yeah,
Maybe in something.
Maybe not in the way that he was. to put it lightly, but
didn't wear the fancy gloves and hat.
Yeah, but
maybe, we don't know.
A nice little cheery but then quite depressing story there for everyone. Yeah, and then it just took a massive nosedive.
It fell off, didn't it?
Quite a good homage to how the podcast goes a lot of the times. But anyway, right, so enough of controversy that happened away from the beach bar that's slightly connected to it. Let's get into someone that has prime experience of the beach bar. Podcast Paul here was a employee of the beach bar for 6 years. 6 years?
Yeah, I think it was 6 years.
Because it would have been like 8 now, but obviously taken out the last 3 because of...
Yeah, so I mean, were you always in the kitchen, or?
Yeah, always in the kitchen, man. It happened just on the off chance. Shona, who was the head chef at the time, she was going on maternity leave, and I just happened to be. I was working at the Station Hotel in Hopeman at the time. It was a cracking wee place, small but very nice. I sort of did all my fancier food and thoroughly enjoyed that. But on one of my days off, I ended up at the beach bar, as I did anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shona had just finished her shift, and I was sitting there with a bottle of Stella. I had a few bottles beforehand, but... But,
some old habits die hard.
Just came through, just having a stretch, one after shift, just rubbing her belly and whatnot. I said, "Oh, how are you getting on?" Whatnot, because I think her ish beforehand. She was like, "Oh, I'll be on maternity leave soon." And
don't worry, it happens all the time.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Do you want a job?" And I was like, "Yes."
Thank you
very much so.
Yes. I would much appreciate a job here because I drink here, I eat here, I know the food's good, I know the beverages are cold most of the time.
Just that one off chance there might be a lukewarm one.
Do you want to know the one thing that always stands out to me about that place behind the bar, the death trap, which was that cellar door.
The cellar door. I totally forgot about that.
Oh my god.
Because it's not like the door, you couldn't see it open. Because you had to walk around it.
Yeah. Like for those who don't know what this is like literally about a 2 to 3 meter drop.
Oh yeah.
Down
if you mess up there, you're being pulled into the underworld.
that, is it? Well,
and the amount of people I have watched not notice it or not be aware that it is open and they're serving someone and they're not looking where they're going and they're grabbing, they just walk and, oh my God, they take the fastest elevator you've ever seen. Oh man.
No engineering could compete with the gravity.
No, that's exactly it.
I always remember Scott throwing ice cubes at Simon's head at an angle down that cellar door.
that was Simon's office, I believe.
But so you get the job at the beach bar. Tell us a bit about the people you started working with and probably worked with over the numerous years.
Worth many.
Yes. Yeah.
I always like to say to the staff there, especially the waiting staff, the washing, whatnot, or just everybody in general, is that this is a place where it's like your first job, just getting as a pot washer, as a waiter or waitress, whatever. Just a bit of life experience.
Yeah, like almost like work experience, but work.
Work experience, but you get paid for it.
Yeah. Work experience on the job.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was good. But yeah, when I first started, it was with Shona and Heed. And then once Shona left, Heed became the head chef. Then a few years down the line, Heed left.
Just going to put that microphone a little bit closer to you.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry, I'll lean back a little.
Yeah, it's all right.
Just a bit.
And I always feel really rude because I'm kind of multitasking with like, you know, I look like I'm trying to pull out of a junction, you know.
But yeah, then he became head chef, and he eventually moved to Aberdeen. So then
he went to TGI Fridays.
TGI Fridays, I believe. I don't know if he's still there or not. See, I've not spoken to him in a while, but I did get a message from him a few months back actually, just asking, do you listen to Typo Negative? And I was like,
long time no see.
Yeah, long time no see. That would have been the better shout to start with. Do you listen to Typo Negative? And I was like, yes, I do.
I can just imagine like a whiteboard of like how to open conversation and do you like Typo Negative? Being like a big red cross next to it.
Worst chat of lines. Do you like Typo Negative? Because you're in luck. If so. But
it's me.
You've been looking for.
We're gonna play this song, guys.
And a bit of thunder comes on as Love walked in through the door. You know?
But no, there were definitely some interesting characters who worked at that beach bar.
Oh yes.
I can't. Some of them like Lugs. We all know Lugs.
Well, he.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that and this. He's responsible for building of said studio and building. Yeah, building Paul's deformity of his hand.
I wouldn't call it a deformity. It's more of an opportunity. I can become a.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So how did that? I remember briefly you telling me about this. You were in the courtyard.
Yeah.
If you will, could you call it a courtyard, or am I kind of
No, it is kind of like the front.
Yeah, like the front. Yeah, like there was like
front seat.
Go in detail. There was like a fence and that around, and there was like tables, and there was like a smoking area and all that kind of stuff.
The tree that Graham planted with a sledgehammer.
Yep.
That's it.
Believe it or not,
there's a shovel in there.
And if you think that's wacky, wait until you hear the next hour of this.
No, this will do. And right enough, it did do.
There were some achievements at the beach bar, but planting a tree with a sledgehammer has got to take at least gold medal.
Definitely one of my favourite moments.
Yeah,
it's 100% one of my favourite moments.
Yeah.
So, how did Lugs come to end up changing your life forever by making your?
Well, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse.
Yes, yeah.
But I was about 2 or 3 pints in.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Friday night. It was a Friday night, and I just I went out for a fag, and the Lugs seen me, ran at me, jumped on me to give me a cuddle.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing
sinister.
Nothing sinister. But as we fell into the wall, my pint glass was in between Lugs, myself, and the wall.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't call a pint glass a good cushion.
No. Most definitely not.
So,
if you take any lessons from today, pint glasses are... that's a new t-shirt. Pint glasses are not good cushions. We are making so many... we're going to have to get the merch out soon. It's going to happen.
Pint glasses are not good cushions, boys and girls.
with Paul's hand.
Yeah, that's on there.
Some strong evidence to suggest this. You'll end up being a Captain Bucklefinger. But yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
But yeah, once you jumped on me and just for a cuddle, but we fell into the wall. and obviously, pint glass and me, Lugs. Lugs he's a trim loon, I'll give him that. A muscular guy.
Yeah.
He's not light.
No.
He's not light. So it's momentum to it, and I ended up with bits of pint glass in my breast.
Yes.
And my hand, I had a bit of glass about that sticking out my hand. And
so it wasn't actually in the finger, it was like...
No, it was the middle of the hand.
Yeah, in the palm area, yeah.
Middle, so I've got a bit of dry skin there. But yeah, in the middle of the hand, you can see where the cut in.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I never actually noticed that.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a small incision.
I can just imagine people at home watching, like, let's see the cut.
Give a look at the weird thing. You can see the tendon there, or what's left of it. But yeah, I had a bit of glass about that sticking out my hand, and first thing is pull it out, which I should not have done.
No.
But as I pulled it, I twisted it.
That probably
Not
just...
intentional.
No, yeah, just like a...
I was like, Right then I was like, oh, bits of glass in my chest. I was like, pull them out.
Yeah, your turn.
That's it. Get out of there. You shouldn't be there. But yeah, pulled out then. I was just like a little slit. And I was like, oh, it doesn't feel right. And I just went like that. And then the hand just opened. It wasn't bleeding. It didn't bleed, which was strange. Yeah, I could see the inside of my hand. And I was like, oh.
But no blood.
No blood.
Do you know what that reminds me? This is like a flashback to my childhood right now. I have
oh dear.
Another local guy, Stuart Lee.
Oh yeah, Flea.
Yeah, I mind me and Joshua Stewart. I don't know what that boy's doing nowadays. I've not seen him in years.
Is Nippy's son.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
I've got used to drinking the.
Yeah, it was two brothers used to drink the beach bar. Nippy is
Scone Miguel.
Scone Miguel. Elton Scone.
But and we were out at the woods, and Stu used this little plank of wood up against the tree to like get a boost and climb up. And we'd all noticed that nails were poking out, so it was the nail head side that was poking out. So as you can imagine, he's used this as a wee boost, and he's jumped up, he's got up the tree, and he's fell out of it almost instantly. And it's on his shin bone, so it's went in about 2 inches above, like.
Not the ankle, or
above the ankle, but it's right on the front of the shin, and it's torn up. At the time, to me, we may have been a lot smaller, so things looked a little bit bigger. Yeah, but it looked like almost half his shin was literally just an open wound. And I could. And the skin, must have seen the bone, because I've never seen anything so white before in my life.
The skin at the shin's like the thinnest it is on the body, isn't it? So But
that was another time where I didn't, like you say, it didn't bleed. I just remember seeing it all open, and it was all red. I could see red and see white where the bone was, but it was all just sat there. It wasn't coming out. It was just sat there. It was like, hi.
Hey MTV, this my crib.
I was horrified though. That was scary.
Come on in. Come on into my shed. Let me show you a bit.
We've got pool tables and all sorts. So anyway, after that kind of experience with your hand opening, what happens then? I take it you have to go to hospital.
Yeah, well,
this isn't just something you walk off.
No. This is another walking off story.
Yeah.
Involved a broken ankle, apparently. But still worked 2 days on it. But yeah, my hand just opened up, and Big Al, he was on the door at the time. I don't know if he's still in charge of marriage security, but
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I haven't actually seen like doormen, because obviously the pubs haven't really been open, and like, you know, it's all kind of been controlled anyway with numbers and stuff in it. So,
but yeah, he was on the door. I think Helen might have been working as well.
Oh, I remember her. Yeah.
But yeah, my hand just opened up, and I was like, "You need to go to A&E," and I went, "No, I need a plaster and another pint." It's like, "No, A&E for you, sir." And rightly so.
With a plaster and a pint, though.
I didn't get a plaster. What I got, I think, was 16 stitches.
Damn.
And then I was in Aberdeen for a week and a half.
Really? Oh, they kept you in hospital after that?
A week and a half.
Week and a half.
Aberdeen.
So it's a good thing that you're friends with Lugs, isn't it? Because I'm not being funny. You could have sued that boy for a lot of money.
You know what? He went round, and once he found out that I'd gone to Aberdeen, he went round to the house to apologise to my mum and dad.
I remember you saying it.
And I believe, I can't remember if it was my mum or dad, said he probably deserved it.
Cheers for the sympathy,
your mum and
folks.
dad know you well.
Oh yes. And that, Special moment.
Yes.
I did not.
So,
yeah.
I take it like it severed the tendons or something like that.
Yeah,
Is that why
yeah,
it's...
severed the tendon. And the way I pulled the glass out, I'd actually... this is going to sound disgusting, but it looked like a bit of snot coming out my hand.
Ooh, damn.
And as I pulled it, it just snapped.
Oh, yeah, because it's like an elastic kind of thing. Oh,
and
man.
then my hand just went...
Yeah, whoa. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's it. I was like, am I going to turn into the rider? I can't
crazy.
remember. Can't remember what all the...
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Zoids were the called?
Zoids.
Zoids? I can't remember.
We're going to have like a... we're doing another episode in a couple hours after this one's finished, so we'll have to watch like the full series of Power Rangers in the space of like an hour and a half.
That's it.
It can be done.
Yeah, it can be. That's what Sky Plus is for. They can fast forward a bit. We might not get it all, but...
We'll speed run it.
Yeah. Imagine speed running a TV series.
What did you
Especially
do
on
your
like
day
Power
off?
Rangers. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Speed run the first series of Power Rangers.
That's what we do on our Mondays because we're productive.
Yeah, so yeah, I was a week and a half in hospital, and which was fine. I had a real laugh with the nurses, and the doctors, just the staff game. Just I found it quite hilarious.
Yeah.
I was just having the...
Do you ever like notice it? Like maybe you've forgotten about it, and then just kind of like looking in.
Yeah, it's because the bone seized.
Oh right,
so
okay.
what they can do is they can break it and reset it, but then my finger would just be stuck out like that.
And it's rude to point.
That's no use for
And
work.
it's very rude to point at people.
It is incredibly rude to point, so that's why you have to curl up your finger.
Yeah.
You're not pointing. You're what is the
Suggesting.
word? Suggesting. Strongly suggesting.
At someone.
Yes.
It was quite crazy how we developed this whole kind of persona behind it in a way with Scott was the Boston Wet Wipe. That was his superhero name.
Yeah,
and you were his sidekick, the baggage handler. Because obviously picking the bag up. And it's like
You sound like a James Bond villain.
With Tittins, the driver.
Yeah. Just can you imagine like stroking a cat and it's just the one finger? Like, I've been waiting for you this whole time.
Cannot forget
Fish hooking the cat at the same time.
the main part of that group band scenario, Captain Beige.
Oh yes,
Young
Captain
Adam.
Beige indeed.
Yes, Captain Beige.
And then
he was the glue.
Yeah,
that held that together.
that's what you need. Yeah, exactly. You have these
league
components, and you
together.
need a nice glue.
You just need a nice, thick, musty almost, just a nicely scented thing to stick the situation together. And
So when obviously after I'm gonna just change the subject a little bit. So what did you think of the beach bar from when it changed? Because I remember when I first came back from Cyprus, I was 18. So
You'll have like a unique perspective
ago.
on this because I'm a couple years younger, so I probably wouldn't have been actually at the beach bar at this time.
So for me, it would either been 2008, 2009, around about Christmas time when I got back. And I just remember going in the beach bar and being like, I can't believe I'm back in my local. I'm 18. I said, I'm with all the guys. I see everyone. And I'm like, wow, it was crazy.
It was just
the atmospheres were nuts.
Even when it was
the old style though. You know where you used to come in, you used to have the bandits, then the bogs right there.
Yeah. Oh,
then you used to have the back
toilets. Well outdated.
Oh, they were nasty.
They were
horrid.
As much as the Queen Margaret, I think her name was, as much as she tried and tried to get that toilets queen, there was just she just couldn't. And bless her, she tried. But no, there was just. It was time for them to go. There was often the odd jobby in the trough. Why would you even consider doing a thing like that?
Oh, people behave really extraordinarily in pubs.
Honestly, you get some manky buggers that came in the beach bar.
I think
I used to hate going to the toilet, man. I just used to remember it was actually the same with the dance floor.
Again,
your feet, you used to walk, your feet would get stuck like glue.
At the time, bless her, she tried. She was a trier, I'll give her that. Wasn't very good, but a trier. That's it. When you're walking forward with the mop again in front of you, it's just, no.
No. It's going to take a little bit more than a mop to get this sorted.
I said, no, it's just a mop from behind. You don't mop where you're going to walk.
No.
Yeah.
You mop where you've walked. It's just, simple.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Apparently not.
Tune in next week where we discuss mop techniques.
So get yourself a good Kentucky head.
Yeah.
They pick up the wee bits you missed when you swept.
So like,
yeah, the change from obviously the old style to the new. What I mean, was it good for you?
I was there for when the building of it happening, and it was massive improvements. Massive improvements.
I mean, did the kitchen get extended at all?
Yes, we actually had 2 working kitchens.
Oh right, okay. I you didn't get to see those bits, so did you?
Yeah,
that came quite later in the cycle of the beach bar, didn't it?
Yeah, it was actually not long
before it actually
burned down. And do I know the weirdest part? Because I got the phone call in the morning saying you don't have to come into work today, and I was like, oh no, what did I do last night?
Yeah. Have I been relieved of my duties? Well, kind of.
I've been threatened with a P45 before, but this is a bit rewer. I was like, oh, what's up? Is it? It's burnt down. I was like, nah. It's 6:10 in the morning. I was.
Well, I woke up to it, and people like, I had like
nah.
5.
I was like, nah, I'll be in. It's alright.
5 messages like saying beach bars up in smoke, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I seen the news article and stuff, and I was like, what?
Yeah, so.
And then I was telling someone that we know that worked there, like, oh, best not to go into work today, mate. And they're like, why? And I was like, the beach bar's burned down. And he was like, oh, good joke. And he went down in his car. I was like, look, I'm not even kidding you. Yeah. It's not there.
I didn't believe it. I jumped in my car. Shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, it's kind of a deal. Why would my boss be phoning me at 6:10 in the morning?
Yeah,
It's not April Fool's Day.
No. it's a bit far for a troll.
Yeah, that's it. And I drove down, right enough. It was just getting put out by the fire brigade.
It was quite crazy because, like...
I just burst into tears. Like,
yeah.
Genuinely burst into tears.
That's madness,
like.
I can't believe...
We had all new menus ready for the Saturday night.
All new furniture. After all the kind of...
so hard to get that menu. I just sorting out and get all the furniture in and make it a bit fancier. No, I mean, I
always think back, like, I miss it for like what we talk about, like the kind of community that we had in there and whatnot. But I remember there was one brief moment where I just stopped and was like, oh, I was really looking forward to trying that Cuban Club sandwich.
What's going on in the back?
I know. I literally seen it on the post. I was like, I'm coming down Thursday. And then I was like, no, I'll go next week. And then it just wasn't there anymore. One of the biggest regrets of my life because it looked really good.
Didn't get a sandwich. I want the sandwich.
But it could have been a lot worse.
Well, think about the guy who actually stayed in the flat.
That's what I'm saying.
Joining to it. I mean, he was. Yeah, he was very. It was only him that was in there, wasn't it? He was very.
The kids.
Oh, was
yeah,
just the kids that were in.
And was it Chris Smythe?
Chris Smythe. I don't know if he was out for a run or whatnot, but he managed to try chopping the door.
Was it not
kicked the door down and there's a fire?
Yeah, was it not like Chris Smythe's wife was
Angela,
post.
Yeah.
And she'd seen it first, hadn't she? And she went back and informed him, and then he went and ran down to make sure that anyone that was in there got out. So obviously,
it was a good thing no one did get hurt.
Exactly,
I am so happy I turned off the gas at the mains.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, that would have been a whole new level of destruction. Yeah.
Well, I'd probably be in the big house.
But I always remember you saying, I was like, bastard, I left a pizza in the freezer as well.
I had a Goodfellas pizza from Mealy's and I was buzzing for it on Saturday morning. And I remember saying to Graham, I was just having a wee laugh and a joke, and I was like, I had a bloody pizza in the oven. It's only well cooked now. but it wasn't. Because do I know the only part of that building that survived?
Kitchen.
The kitchen.
Indestructible, mate. It's been through too much already.
The old kitchen.
Yeah, the one, not even the new one. No, the one that was originally there.
The one that was originally there, and I moved all my knives, my new knife, my Gruber knives, my German knives. I think that was about £800-900 for them. And they were on the cheap. That was 8 knives. But they were very good. But about a week beforehand, I'd moved them into the new kitchen. So they all get nailed with the fire.
Down to the sands of...
Fire's just sitting there like, I see your new knives, Paul, and I'm having them.
Mine.
We're taking them to the underworld, unfortunately.
You're coming with us.
Because they just, they didn't, it was been there a few years, but they had the new deck bit and all
the new
that
deck
outside.
and the new conservatory, and It was just a really, really nice place to be.
Was it not like down to the brand new deck and that the issue occurred though?
I'm not 100%.
Yeah,
sure,
well,
actually.
I heard it might have been a fan heater, but there's speculation all the time and that kind of thing.
I did hear something about the fan heater in the girls' bathroom or whatnot. Yeah, I heard something about that. But then I also heard it was like where the new decking is and all the dry debris, like the leaves and all that, and was obviously how hot the summers were getting. And it was just gaps.
Or something.
Well, a bit of glass could have been someone out there with a cigarette. Drop the cigarette through the gaps because it did have the gaps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really did.
So it was so sad how it happened, man. It was because in our eyes, it was the best establishment in the town.
Yeah, for sure.
For eating, for
in the world for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, we all loved it a lot. I loved it. I remember going there. You could go there with no one, and then
still be
exactly. Because you would see someone you knew, and then it would just kind of become, like when people start dancing in the big groups and then everyone joins in. That was kind of like a social version of that in the beach bar.
I remember going to the beach totally on my Todd. And I started speaking to some guy just out of the raft. Cause I was just at the bar, and we just literally sat there and we spoke for about 3 hours straight. Yeah. And I didn't realize how much time we went past, and I was just like, "Dude, I think all your pals are leaving." I was like, "On you go." I was like, "Don't worry." He's like, "Oh, you sure?" I was like, "Don't worry."
I think it just gave off good vibes.
Yeah,
even when things were going sideways and upside down, it was. I don't know, there was always a good vibe.
Yeah, there was a good element of humor with the people that worked there and were, customers, consumers, if you will.
Yeah.
So even in the kitchen, it was even stuff was going terribly wrong. Yes, they were shouting and swearing, stuff get thrown, tantrums by myself personally. But there was always an apology afterwards. So right, we'll go
it was something you needed to get. You needed to get out of your system, but you never held on to it.
No, never. There was never a grudge. There was never. I won't speak to them ever again. It was. Sorry, I've shouted at you, but you were being a tool.
Yeah,
that's not a useful one.
So, yes, you were being the broken tool that we don't need, but we keep. But. Sorry, I shouted at you. I'll buy you a pint or a drink after work, and we're still friends.
Yeah,
you know,
chill out and
I mind that there's been some funny times with the beach bar as well. I've walked into the beach bar. I haven't been there. Like, say I hadn't been there for. I think I was telling you I hadn't been there for months. No, in fact, at this point, I think it was I hadn't been there for a year. Yeah. And I walked in, and it was, "Oh, you're barred." And I was like, actually, I think it was Graham or whatever behind the bar. I'm stood there and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, "What do you mean I'm barred?" He was like, all the trouble you caused last night." I'm like, "That obviously wasn't a me, mate." I was like, "I live down in like Plymouth." I was like, "I'm just up on holiday. I've never been here in a year. I'm just back, and now you're telling me I was here last night." I'm like, "What?" And it's like,
"Where are you coming from?"
And then they're all looking at each other and they're like, "Oh, just let him in." And I'm like, "What do you mean, just let him in?" I was like, I've not done anything. Yeah, absolutely raging, just like, "Don't fucking accuse France. Yeah, don't accuse me."
As much as you could make friends very easily down there,
you can get annoyed.
Well,
very quickly.
Go from 0 to 100.
Now that we're going into the stories, which is kind of the meat and bones of the beach bar experience.
Oh, the fight.
Do you remember the guy that took the machete out?
Oh yes, at the folk festival.
Folk festival, right? Yeah. So folk festival.
One of the only festivals that were like held low. Oh,
he didn't get banned.
What?
He did not get banned.
He didn't get banned.
He got arrested.
He was allowed back in the pub though.
He was allowed back in.
And I get barred for like just.
You didn't even do anything. You got barred.
Just showing up.
I came from Plymouth. Out.
But blood, I'm a local. Nah.
Get out.
So folk festival. So folk fest for people that don't. Oh man, you've broken me.
Folk festival was like just a very bog standard what it is.
Yeah, people would come up.
Folk style music festival
music,
at the beach
local,
bar.
And people from
spanned over like 3 to 4 days, didn't it?
A week.
Was it a whole week?
It was a.
I think it was just mainly the weekend people would go for though.
Yeah, it was always mental. There was it was always packed in the beach bar every day when it.
I remember one of the last ones they done. I bought a raffle ticket off one of the girls that were there, and the rule was if you get a 2 at the end of your ticket, you win a prize. I only bought 2 tickets, and I had a 2. I was like, "Oh, sweet." I think I had like 2, 2, 2. So I was like, "Oh, there we go, boom." Yeah. Handed that back to her, and she was like, "All right, I'll go get your prize." An hour and a half, I had to chase her around the beach bar after it had its extension. So there was more of it, and I'm chasing this hippie-looking lady around the. Oh man! And I'm like, literally by the end of it, I was like, "Right, I want my prize. Oh yeah, I'll go get it for you in a minute. I was like, no.
Nah.
I was like, you'll go get me my prize now, because now I'm starting to think you're just going to run off with it. I was like, the trust is gone.
I've got a feeling there wasn't a prize. And
No, there was.
Was there?
It was a single malt Isle of Lefroy whiskey.
Oh,
It was apparently was one of the best prizes, which is what made me think you did not want to give me that.
Yeah.
You were going to rub
You
that.
didn't think I was classy enough for this.
The only problem I have with Lefroy, as much as I don't drink whiskey anymore, doesn't agree with me mentally, physically, and
Yeah,
I
both
just end up one of
forms.
them.
Yeah, wacky inflatable too. But
Yes, but yeah, Lefroy, I used to drink that quite a lot. Very peaty.
Extremely peaty.
If you drank enough of it, you'd literally wake up smelling like petrol in the morning.
yeah,
It was one of the ones.
you're basically a mobile lasso at that
Yeah,
point, really,
that's
weren't
it.
you?
Well,
Yeah.
when I went
Reefer
round
at
the
the
back of the
time.
beach bar and sat with everyone at like their tents and the campfires and that when they were playing their wee folk tunes, I'd just hand the bottle. I'd take a wee swig and then hand the bottle around. I was very, very generous with this bottle for that particular reason, because I myself at the time was not a whiskey drinker.
It was always,
It was nice to kind of take part.
it
Wasn't
was always good vibes for sure. How did the Machete situation happen? I think I remember being told about like the guy was speaking to one of the people that work at the beach bar, and then I think he said, "Oh, I'll come back with my machete," and most people were like, "Right, okay, guy's off his head."
Probably Maverick.
Yeah,
It's
I
got Maverick vibes about it.
guy probably go on then. Guy's probably off his head, and no, he came back like with a
He did.
machete, and then
He did what
obviously
he said he was going to do.
the doormen were like, "Right, someone better go phone the authorities because
Yeah,
there's a
that's
dude
it.
outside with like I'm a hoose of blade."
This man wants to cause a ruckus.
Yeah, but like you said, he got arrested and stuff.
Yeah.
But like we seen him the next day,
Yeah, the next day.
holding 2 chihuahuas in the local shop,
What?
and it's like, how are you not like? Are you just allowed to take them out? Like, oh, like, what was his excuse? I
Is
was
this
just,
part of your dress code?
I was just showing this lethal weapon to people in a public, crowded place.
Sorry, I'm just cutting about being Mel Gibson, little weapon reference. But aye,
The amount of crazy stuff that happened.
well, will we get on to?
Yeah, well, that is coming.
I
yes.
don't know this story.
Right,
and I haven't
okay.
wound up about this
will,
story, so I want to know.
Okay, so Paul's days off at the beach bar were Monday and Tuesday, right?
Oh,
So that's when we would frequent most of the time.
yes.
So we would come down like a Tuesday afternoon, for example, and this was a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
So it was about, I don't know, 1 p.m. or something. It was, it was quite early. Well, it wasn't like anything heavy. You'd go down, have a bit of food, have a relaxed,
spot of lunch.
yeah, relaxed pint,
Yeah.
talk, smoke breaks and all that, right? So the beach bar was usually pretty quiet in the afternoon, right? Because
Yeah.
most people do their drinking at night time. Just,
It's a bit more kind of family oriented.
yeah, because obviously people are in for lunch and stuff. So like we're in there, and the kitchen closed for like an hour
Was it
or
3 till 5 it closed.
aye. So it closed for a couple hours. So we went to sit with a couple of other chefs that were on break.
Yeah, it was Crookie and
Mike, because
Crookie and Mike. Yeah.
Mike won all your money that you'd put into the band at like
He
5
certainly
minutes
did. He
previous.
certainly did. I wasn't best shot for that, but what could I do?
So
Not his fault. He's a lucky goose.
yeah. So we sit down, right, and we're just speaking away, and the next thing is right. I can't like this. You can't write this story, but this happened, and it needs to be told to the world because it's too funny and too bonkers not to tell it. Yeah. So we sit down with a pint of Strongbow dark fruits or something. No, Magner's dark fruits, because Strongbow was a can, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They had a cider on draft anyway.
Yeah.
So we sat down for a refreshing cider, thinking we're just wanting one normal day.
It was a nice day.
It was a nice day. It was sunny. We were relaxing, and all of a sudden, there's a lady in nun attire.
Aye.
It's not a robe, is it?
We're just gonna say none attire.
Yeah, nun attire. In the back, and we kind of look up and like look at her pint, like how strong is this? Do you know what I'm saying? Because like, I'm not saying that nuns can't be in a pub. I'm just saying it's not something you expect to see, is it?
Not in full attire.
So-
No.
Oh yeah, this is just
skin.
this is just the start of this story. Like, if you think that it's gonna, like that's the wacky part about it, just wait until you hear the rest of this. So me and Paul look at each other and we're like, what the hell's going on?
Oh Christ on a bike, that's a nun.
Yeah, and Crookie and that were just acting normal, like, oh yeah, she's been here for a couple hours, right? So the nun was drinking. The nun was sinking pints of Joker like it was fruit shoot.
That was a Joker she was drinking.
Joker's a great
IPA.
pint, but like
very good pint. It's a fantastic bar
yeah.
as well.
It's another thing I miss about the beach bar. Yeah, my favorite pint. But anyway, moving swiftly on. But so we were like, like, okay, I suppose, like, we're an inclusive place, but we weren't like we weren't like, get this person out here at once.
It was before she burst into flames.
Yeah. It was more just like, that's not what you would expect to see in the beach bar, especially on a Tuesday afternoon at 1 p.m.
Just in case, there's a nun with a couple and their children.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there was a couple and with their child, right? And I don't know what she was doing, but she was like picking up not against the couple's wishes or anything. The couple were obviously new.
I'm presuming they were friends.
Yeah, they knew each other. Yeah. So we're sitting here, and like every time, like because the nun's going back and forth, like to put it into context, we're sitting like the kind of corridor going to the new bit that you were mentioned previously.
Right, beside the big window.
Yeah. And they were like at the back, but like we would only see the nun briefly because she would come down and then she would go back up and then she would disappear and then she'd come back down and that. And then she walked past like an hour later. Like I said, like she literally maybe broke the world record for amount of pints of Joker she sunk in like an hour. I swear, like I seen her, because like Joker's a good pint, but it's quite a heavy beer.
It's like creamier. Like a Belhaven.
Yeah, and it's got a lot more sugar, I'd say, to it. It's a very sweet
thick pint.
Yeah. So the way that this lady like had ordered like 4 or 5 in the space of like an hour was pretty mental. Like
good effort. Like.
Yeah, for sure. So
top form.
She walked by with the couple and the child, and we didn't think anything of it, right? And then Crookie looked out the window and was like, wait a minute, what? And we're like, what's going on now? He's like, that nun is getting into a car behind the wheel. And we're like, wait, what? And he's like, oh no, the couple are now in the back seat with their kid. And we're like, what the hell is going on here right now? So Crookie runs round to Glynis, who was the bar manager, or was the bar manager, I should say. And she comes storming around. She's like, she's had 4 bloody pints of Joker. 5 fucking pints of Joker. And it was like, what is going on right now? So I'm pretty sure she ended up phoning the police because obviously,
I can't remember.
I would imagine, you must have to, right? Yeah. So we never seen the nun again after that. But how mental is that? Like, not only
in the hands of God after
that. But yeah, not only was like, that kind of
nun sinking pints, but drink driving,
with
child in car.
Exactly, right? Like if the only way that story could have got more mental from when we said there was like a nun doing like a christening in the back of the beach bar or whatever they were doing was that she got steaming off a Joker and got behind the wheel of a Land Rover and just drove off.
That's absolutely wild.
That was just Tuesday afternoon.
That's just not even a Friday night.
That is the tip of the iceberg of the stories of random chaos that did happen. But
that's absolutely wild.
Aye, nuns are meant. Well, that particular.
Well, yes.
Man, I'm not saying all nuns are like.
Not a generalization, but that particular nun did a bad thing.
Hard line of work, that, eh?
Yeah.
She did. A naughty.
Yeah, well, we were like just kind of sitting reflecting about this for like the next hour. Like, what the heck has just happened?
Was it the next week? Did we actually just see a nun turn 5 pints of Joker, jump in a motor with 2 fake and a kid and drive off, or
was there something in the water supply?
Yeah,
my goodness.
What is in this pint of cider?
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, this must be like 1,000,000,000%.
Yeah.
With quantum leap to alternate realities from drinking that.
That's it, but nuns drink and drive.
I knew this was going to...
That nun.
Yeah, that particular nun, no.
So, I mean, getting through some nice stories, what do you guys reckon about like what it leaves, like what we're missing now ever since it has actually gone?
I think like there's an element of comedy that came with the beacher, whether it was intentional or not. Like another story I remember, like stuff that I like, just little things is they had a Reefer Burger, right, which was like Ghost Reaper chilies. Like Paul, before masks were like a mandated thing with Rona, had to wear one to actually cook the thing because it was that hot. Everyone had to vacate the kitchen.
But I didn't wear the mask because there wasn't enough masks for everybody in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if he's already wearing a mask and I'm having to cook this.
Captain goes down with the ship.
Captain goes down with the ship, exactly. And I couldn't see for about 20 minutes after. It was brutal.
So you can't get a good Ghost Reaper Burger anymore.
Well, no, it was only a limited thing because Graham had got ghost chilies on holiday. Was that how he came in?
It was ghost chili extract.
Aye.
Powder.
Aye, so he like...
I don't know where he got it. He just appeared with it one day.
Well, he somehow came into getting Ghost Reaper chili extract or...
powder. It was half a
So it was like it was a special on the board for like a week for however long the stuff lasted, and then we were down there. Yeah.
About the Reefer Burger.
Yeah. So I came down with a mate in that, right, and one of our other mates was coming down, and he's always like saying, "Oh, I'll eat this, I'll eat that." It's like spice doesn't bother me, and like fails miserably. So in a kind of sinister way, we're like, let's get him to try this, because like we were hearing this from like Graham, the owner, and that, because he had claimed to have had one.
He likes his spicy
and
food.
had to sit on a bag of ice for a week apparently.
But he had a sore bum.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, let's get our mate down. He was like, "Are you having one?" We're like, "No." And I was like, "Are you having one?" He was like, "Okay." And we were like, "Oh my lord, this is not going to end well, and it's going to be absolutely hilarious." So Paul comes through with said, but no.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah. So you came through with the burger. Because he'd asked for it. No, he didn't. To kind of dilute the spice a bit. There's cream cheese,
sour cream on the.
Yeah,
it's cream cheese and
sour cream
on the bun.
And my mate scraped that off, which is a big.
That's a silly move.
It's a dumb goof.
Small brain move.
Yeah,
not like brain move.
Yeah, it's an absolute goose move. That
is a silly goose move.
And I could tell he was right. Okay, so to put it into context, we're sitting here because there's like a big build up. Like people came through to my mate and were like, "Right, you've got to be careful when you eat this and stuff like that." Because it was like he was like getting booked in for an operation or something. Like the amount of like stuff people went through, and we were like,
"Oh, should get something for them to sign." We have nothing to do with
your tongue may never taste again after tasting this.
Your face might.
The swelling may go down in a week.
That's it, man.
So. He cuts the burger up because obviously the burgers were quite big at the beach bar, so like you just cut them to like hold them that he takes a piece, right? And he's eating it, no reaction, right? And we're just waiting, and it gets to about like 45 seconds in, and like, oh, maybe it's just not that much, and then we just hear him go, and we just burst into tears laughing because we knew it was coming, right?
Oh my god!
He had the chips and stuff. And this was the only time I've ever heard someone complain about this. But he was struggling that bad, he started complaining about that he never got salad with his meal. And I was like,
he asked for no salad.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that day very well.
But it was like, how many, like most, like, not to disrespect salad, because I quite like salad, but most of the time, if people get salad with their food, they usually leave it, right? Most of the time. But, I've never really ever heard someone complain like, "Where's my cherry tomatoes, spinach, leaves and lettuce?"
That's it. Won't be coming back here again. My salad garnish is not there.
Yeah.
We're leaving.
Yeah, he took one bite of that burger and had to go home.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was called the Reefer Burger for a reason.
Yeah.
It would kill you.
Took people out, man.
It did. I started laughing a few minutes ago. It was Angry Chris.
Oh.
He likes a spicy. He likes a spicy food.
Angry Chris.
Angry Chris.
Yes.
I don't know why it was called Angry Chris.
Well, because
but he was angry.
Yeah, because Chris Smythe, who we referred to earlier, is Nice Chris.
Yeah.
And
Chris Ross,
who we're referring to
don't
now.
get me wrong, the boy's spot on.
No, it's not like
He's not.
It's more in a comedic way that we say that name,
right, okay,
not because
he's not an asshole or anything.
Yeah.
He's not actually angry.
He's lovely. But he had one, and even he said it was a bit spicy, and I believe his daughter called him a vagina for saying it was too hot, so he gave her a bit.
I
can't remember.
They got to
She
learn
was
that.
young.
Yeah.
She was young, and I think about 5 or 6 milkshakes later, and a lot of tears. It was alright. But to be fair, his daughter called him out, so he put her in her place.
Yeah,
and I'd call that good parenting, to be honest.
Wow.
Got to learn
Character
that
building.
Character building. So, well, don't tell me out.
It's not cigar burns, it's good.
Do you remember? I remember you telling me like when people used to complain about food and stuff like that. There was a guy that complained about not getting parsnips or something.
Oh, the steak pie, man. Didn't want any chips or anything.
No.
He just wanted veg. The only veg I had at that moment, like my bad, I'll put my hands up, I only had peas and carrots. I did offer him mash, and I said, right, I've got boiled potatoes here, do you want that? And he said, no, just veg. Don't want any mash or anything, don't want spuds. And I was like, alright, whatever. And
it's like, alright, please yourself.
I said, alright, I'll I'll cook what I've got for you. It's not a problem. So I can remember his son had a burger, and there might be a wee swear word here, but I'll abbreviate.
Yeah.
But I walked out the kitchen as I was going through the bars, and like breaks were on the phone. I was going through doing my order, and the boy kind of went, "Excuse me, are you the chef? Are you wearing my chef attire?" And I was like, "Yes." I just looked myself up and down and up, and I was like, "Yes. How can I help you, sir?" I was in a very good mood at this point. And he was like, "What do you call this?" And I was like, "Well, that'll be a steak pie, peas and carrots." Yes. Where's the rest of my veg? I went, that's all the veg that I've got on just now, I'm afraid, but I can get you some boiled tatties or mashed tatties. Or he's like, no. What else would you like? What else could I do for you? You've asked for no chips. You've asked for no. I don't know if there's a no carb diet. I don't know. But anyway, he got really rude with me, and I was like, I don't think we'll be coming back and all that. And I said to his son, I was like, is everything all right with your food? I did. And he was like, yeah, spot on, like the burger. He was like, it's magic. And the boy just piped up and went, don't speak to my son. I was like,
all this angst.
I just looked at him and I was like, fucking excuse me. Actual words. Glynis and Graham were watching this. Anyway, they could have intervened at any moment. My mood went from very good to very bad.
Another nosedive situation.
Oh yes, to very bad.
All
very
this aggro
quickly.
over a steak pie.
Exactly, that was it.
What veg was he requesting? What kind of...
He was told what veg I had.
Right.
And he said, okay.
So then he complained about it when he got the veg that he requested.
I said, did I not give him enough?
Yeah.
I don't know, but he got called a see you next Tuesday. Anyway. I thought I was going to get a warning for it, but no, Glynis and Graham were like, no, fair enough.
Well, yeah, there was literally no BS took in that place. Like,
no.
I remember seeing the disgust on Glynis's face when someone ordered a baked potato, right, and asked if they got chips with it. It was kind of like
double carbs.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why would you get chips with a baked potato? No one, or well, maybe not no one, but very few people on this earth, I would imagine, have had a baked potato
and
with chips.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange request.
I hope the chips aren't the filling, right?
No.
Right, okay.
But why would you have chips?
Here's your baked potato.
That's like when they used to do potato fritters at the chippy. Yeah. Like, imagine ordering a potato fritter supper. Can I get chips with an extra large chip? Do you know what I mean? Like, hospitality must just face some really weird people in their time.
Oh, yes.
Who was the guy that you said, can you not just eat around it? What was his...
Oh, that was when I was a waiter at the Scary.
Oh, right, okay.
And a woman hated peas. This is how I started working, cooking-wise, when I was a waiter, back when I had my long hair.
Oh, aye.
16 years ago. And I was a young whippersnapper at the ripe age of 14. But yeah, a woman, she was like, I fucking ate peas. And I was like, just don't eat them, man. Don't eat them. That's it.
Problem solved.
Part way, that didn't go down well.
Yeah.
So I got a row.
I'd be like, nah, I hated it when things like that happen.
That's
not even the beach bar. That's scary.
It's just in general.
Yeah.
It's just...
I also remember little things like, do you remember when some customers, regulars were in, and one was about to fall off his chair, and the other one saved him, and then he started like swinging on it again or whatever he was doing, and then it was too late this time, so they both went over.
That's friendship, isn't it?
And like
you go down with your pals.
Yeah.
Fall together, stand strong together.
I remember as well, there was a time where there had been a wedding on, right, and like this kind of reception was at the beach bar.
Oh, was that Bobby Bandit's wedding?
No, it was. It was. I think it was.
It didn't last long, did it?
Sister's wedding.
Nate's sister, AJ.
But I don't think the wedding happened at the beach bar.
No.
It was
I remember that. Right? Aye. Yes.
And one of his family members from Manchester was like going around asking for brown sauce. Like, he had this kind of rice dish of some sort. And then I remember, like...
I don't remember that, but mind you, I was probably off my chops.
Yeah, but I remember Graham was like kind of like cursing out. I was like, why the hell does he want brown sauce for like this rice dish? And that? And then I seen that guy later. I was in the smoking area. I was about to head home, and I think the guy started talking to me about battle rap, right? Which I used to watch when I was a bit younger. And we were talking about that, and one of the people that was like big in the battle rap scene was from his area, and he was showing me like this music video, and this girl that he knew came over, and she ended up actually in one of the music videos. Yeah. And then, but here's, and this is what I'm talking about, the whole wackiness of the beach bar again. This wasn't the wackiness of the beach bar itself, just the certain scenarios that would happen.
Yeah.
You got all kinds of folk. It was great.
He started basically freestyle rapping to me in the smoking area, and you know when like someone starts doing that, and you don't want to be rude and just like walk away. I've got to go home. You know? But, like, I had no I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of started going. Yeah.
Something a wee boogie.
I don't know what to do. Like, yeah, but
popping and locking.
Yeah, like the smoking area is where a lot of the stuff. Like I remember we went out for a cigarette, and there was a guy there that he literally said the same sentence probably about 35 times.
I remember that. Was that the guy with the fag packet?
Yeah. He was talking about he'd seen someone on the internet where someone had painted politicians' faces on cigarette packaging.
He went on about that for quite a while. Yeah. I remember getting bored and just walking away from it.
It must have like it was like you know what it is.
I'm done, mate. I'm done, mate.
It's like this happened like 50 times. You kind of just went over like you got politician on fag packets, and we're like that's like the 15th time you've said that. You know?
Aye. Not that I disagreed with him. Like
no,
well, it gets to a point when someone's shouting at you like 20 times. Yeah.
But we're actually, to be fair, this podcast is named after a specific section of the beach bar, the northeast corner, right?
Oh,
the northeast corner is where we would usually sit to enjoy the beach bar.
Yeah. Until night time when we get kicked out.
Yeah, obviously.
Corner. Not for being too lady or whatever.
No, but obviously, like there'd be more people.
The older crew,
came
in, and that was them that named it the northeast corner, I believe.
And there was quite a diverse range.
Bullshit corner, it was called. There was a plaque.
Oh yeah, I remember the.
Yeah.
And we had like
DS talk.
We had like obviously us, Simon, like even people like Byrne, like you know, obviously he's
I miss Byrne.
back over in Germany now, isn't he?
Yeah.
But we're kind of keeping the beach bar spirit going in a sense, although that sounds kind of vain and up ourselves. But like Chris Grant is coming on next week to talk about his music and stuff. Yeah, and Chris Grant.
I've not seen him in ages.
Yeah, exactly. So Chris is coming on. And he obviously used to gig at the beach.
Yes,
I remember we bought one of his albums and stuff like that. Yeah, and he's literally just dropped another one now, which we'll obviously talk to.
I think I've got 2 of his albums, or maybe I just bought 2 of the first one. I don't know, but I've definitely got an album. It's a good album.
Nice.
But it was always good for music and stuff like that as well. Like even not just in the hall, like there was that little setup next to the jukebox where people would do like gigs on Saturday nights and stuff like that.
I preferred Saturday nights to the
Fridays,
nights,
for sure.
Too busy for my life.
Maybe
I'm just a grumpy old
man.
Friday night trying to get yourself a drink after 10 o'clock was a nightmare.
That's it. Like 5-6 deep at both bars.
And it'd get to the point. I remember I used to have to stand there and wait and hope it was someone I knew. And I would literally just look at them and be like, mate, I've been here for like 20 minutes, please. Yeah, and they're like, sound, man.
Just give a cup of water. I'm dying of thirst. I'm dissolving.
Nah, it would always be like, right, I'm obviously never going to get a drink again pretty soon. Cease 4.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's everyone would like cruise in and be like, oh, where's that Jägermeister? Just give me the bottle. Don't even bother about the cups.
That's how they make their money, man.
Yeah. Just give me all of that.
Give you 50 quid. But no, Saturday nights were definitely...
They're more laid back, weren't they?
Well, not work-wise. Because Saturdays were... Mace nights.
No, but I mean, for leisure time,
it's just
right, guys. I can't hold on to I've got to drop my favorite memory of the beach bar now. I have to. We're getting into that point of like we're going back into the Friday nights again. So, Friday night, I'm down the beach bar. I'm with another local loon, Carl. We all know Carl.
Yes.
And we'd been pre-drinking as you do in Lossy. Everyone pre-drank in Lossy. Then you go down the beach bar. You go down for a wee boogie. You go see some people. You have a laugh. And I can't remember most of the night, but the one bit that really stands out to me is standing outside the front of the beach bar. So I'm not where and where the fence ends and it's just the wall still.
Oh yeah, that was a fine sitting point when you were out.
It was
It really was, wasn't it?
It was great for sitting on, and it's also quite good for trying to keep you propped up.
Yes.
And that's where me and Carl invented our fanny dancing.
Oh.
Where we it was a mixture of kind of anxiety kicking in to keep you stood up and being so drunk that you're trying to fall over.
Yeah, like you said, one of those inflatable
armbands. Yeah, you literally, oh man. But we were there for about 20 minutes, and we were both just like, we need to like actually make the effort to go somewhere.
Yeah.
We're just like, so we went back to his, and we ended the night on what I thought was such a high. We found it hilarious. Yeah, you had coleslaw made in this fridge. But I mean, this was a massive tub. This wasn't if it was a little tub, I wouldn't have even thought of it. But this was a massive tub, so we just decided to put it on the side and faceplant. just faceplant. But we're both there with like coleslaw, so carrot and mayo all over our faces, and we're there taking like selfies of ourselves. We'd like to get a laugh at our asses off. We're just bukakied.
Coleslaw-kied. That's it. Beach bar dreams. That's what's about.
But it's, when it all starts because we went to the beach bar.
Yeah.
That's how these nights happen. Is because you went to the beach bar and then the high from the beach bar didn't end when you left the pub.
Yeah,
it ended when you went
kept
to
the
bed,
momentum from it. Yeah.
You left the beach bar in 3 ways. Good mood, go to house party.
Mm-hmm.
Bad mood, you're at top of hill fighting.
Yeah.
The third way, you meet somebody and you go home and end up doing the horizontal shuffle. Then you awkwardly meet them the next week if it was terrible. You're like, that's the 3 ways. you left the beach.
The
bar.
horizontal shuffle. That is the best way of describing it of all time. Oh man.
Yes.
Oh, I remember one Friday night I was in there. You know that big table at the back. Everyone I was in a bit of a bad way. Could you pull it together? You're ready to be my rocks. I did say this was going to be the funniest one that we've done so far, and I feel like we've enjoyed it the most anyway.
I'm good.
But horizontal shuffle.
Saying it doesn't help.
I know. Right? Okay. Let's calm.
See, you can say that in front of like families and stuff, and I don't get it. Well.
We're leaving that rabbit hole unsearched. Anyway, we're professionals here, so we're back in the mine.
Back in the room.
Yeah. So there was that big table up the back for like Fridays and that, and everyone had got up to go to the dance floor, and I was in a bit of a bad way at the time, and I could see one of the doormen like not eyeing me up, but like looking at me to be like, yeah, the next time I see you all messed up in that, out.
Yeah.
But the weird kind of like cat and mouse game we were playing was like. I was a bit tired, so I was taking a little bit of a snooze. But I'd like,
we've all done it.
I've only been kicked out of a pub once, and it was twice, and it was for sleeping at the bar both times.
Yeah.
Well, sleeping at a table this occasion.
That's it. Well, at least you're not like, causing a ruckus.
Yeah, exactly. So I seen the guy, and he was looking at me, and then when he looked away, I'd go for a little nap. I'd time it as 15 seconds to get up to then be back in time for when he looked at me again, because no one else was at the table, so it's not like. There was people in the way. Like, everyone else was dancing, and I was trying to survive. But I maybe went for a bit of an extra cushion of the extra 2 seconds. And the next thing I was like, right, no, and I was like, oh no, please, like 2 more chances or something. I didn't even ask for 1. I asked for 2. I was like, I've got 3 lives here.
I'll get a chance, my luck here.
So the guy basically kind of threw me into a taxi, not threw me in a taxi, but escorted me and then placed me in a taxi. And I had a bit of a bad habit at the time of. When I'd maybe had a bit too much to drink or that, when I came home in like a taxi, they would be like, oh, that'll be like £3.50 or whatever the fare was, and I would just take a clump of change out of my wallet and put it in their hand. Now that could have been £3.50, or it could have been £35 because I didn't know.
For that.
And then that was a bad habit. But that is the only time that I got kicked out of the place.
I believe I get banned for life twice. Whilst working there.
Oh man!
So you were allowed to work, but you weren't allowed to.
I wasn't allowed to drink there. But to be fair, both times weren't my fault.
Oh,
I just escalated the situation.
Okay.
I just escalated it.
To be fair, both times I got started on.
Mm. Oh, right.
Yes,
okay. So
I
it
get
was,
started
it was like
on-
an altercation.
Yeah, like an altercation. But yeah.
Do you remember?
One of the fights I won, one of the fights I lost. So I was like, why did I get banned for losing?
Well,
In case you lost.
you're putting this place's name in the dirt, so
That's it.
No,
yeah.
definitely not.
No, but like for like
Oh,
losing, I was just meaning it for like comedic effect. I didn't know where I was
yes.
going with it. But
Yeah,
I also remember like little things. Like, do you remember when Doof wouldn't pay his burger tab? Do you remember this?
Oh, yes.
And Graham chasing him like
was like 3 weeks, wasn't
it
it?
was like Coyote and the Roadrunner.
Yeah.
It was like Graham was trying to settle these different traps to get Doof to pay this tab, and Doof would not pay this cheese and bacon burger.
I was literally a cheese and bacon burger. I think it was a tin of Diet Coke or Diet Iron Brew, and that was about 3 weeks.
So this is what this probably totals £8.50 maybe most,
If that.
and this got left for a long period.
Oh, very long time.
A long period.
That was
of
it.
time.
The tabs in the till. The bar tabs.
Yeah.
The Sunday tabs.
I think when anyone kind of read tabs, the whole northeast corner just kind of looked away for it.
So remember, Sunday sessions were the business.
I remember like everyone was like scared what their tab was going to be, and
I certainly.
there was literally like 10 tabs, right, and they're reading them all, and like everyone was like, oh no, when am I gonna like get to mine? Like I've got a few beers in there or whatever, and then I remember Scott just saying pizza's got 11 tequilas.
That's it, because I don't know why, but the Sunday sesh.
11 tequilas.
11 tequilas, yeah.
What was it? Alice. Ero's tabs like on a Sunday sesh, like a whole day Sunday sesh. When I very rarely get a Sunday off. I would join them on the Sunday sesh, which would then turn into a Monday mess.
And then a Tuesday
A
Travesty.
Tuesday, ooh.
Aye.
A Tuesday, let's go see the alpacas.
Aye.
Alpaca Tuesdays.
Alpaca Tuesdays.
You get your tab at the end of the night, because I'd be like 12:30 in the afternoon till 12:30 at night, closing time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just 12 hours of solid drinking, and you get your tab at the end. I said, well, it's 190 quid, and you're like, oh, fiddlesticks.
I
Fudge.
I appear to have maybe drunk too long in this establishment today. But I think the great thing about the Beechers, it didn't. When I say this, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. It didn't really feel like a pub. I think,
a home.
yeah, it felt like like a leisure place, right? It felt like
Yeah,
you were
where
chilling
you-
with your
yeah.
mates and stuff. Like
Shit.
there was never a moment of I feel strange here, like trying to find a way
I've got to put on a
around.
persona to come into this
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, even when I was working there, which was quite a bit.
It's basically, Graham, we missed the place, so just do something.
I know, something has been done.
Oh.
Houses are getting built on it, apparently.
Ah.
On the land. It was
Breaking news.
Confirmed by the P&J.
Graham just needs to buy a wee bit of land or a different establishment and just make it his own.
I don't know. I don't think anything will ever be the beach bar again.
No,
But
even if it did get rebuilt now,
I don't think
I
it'll
feel like
never be the
there's
same.
so much of time's passed and stuff. And in a way, I guess there's like a kind of, in a sad way, but also you should remember it in a happy way in terms of there's kind of like a conclusion to that of some people like chasing past past glory of something good, and they never manage to
Move on.
Well, yeah, but like
I've been too harsh there.
like you said, but like the new
Maybe.
the new experience is never what they're looking for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like they're chasing
It'll never
old
be-
times, but they can never. And I feel like maybe that's what a new look beach bar would have been.
Yeah.
Obviously, I
wouldn't
know
have
it was
been
like
the
a.
beach bar,
I've
yeah.
seen the plans in that. There was plans in. But no, it was 2 floors. And it looked
2 floors?
Yeah, it looked amazing.
Wow.
But
What was you going to have on the second floor? Just storage?
I think it was more like restaurant and whatnot, because you know how they sorry. Oh, pardon me. I'm just having a moment.
That's right.
But I know how the conservatory was just all glass.
Yeah.
I think he was planning the top floor just to be all glass. Like a glass wall, so you could look out over the
Over the
over
wall.
the sea and stuff. Yeah,
over the water, and that would have been
yeah,
amazing.
that would have been.
But
Oh, it's well sad.
was
It is
in the
sad,
bin.
isn't it? There.
Yeah.
I really do miss it
that's
because
it.
I like the steamboat, but I don't like what used to be the Clifton.
Oh, I enjoyed the old Clifton. That was rough as.
Old Clifton, but I don't like what it is now. Like,
Oh, the Firth.
is it something like the
Yeah,
Firth?
Firth.
or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
So I think it's more of a hotel-y restaurant.
Yeah, it's
Don't
not.
get me wrong, the food's good.
Yeah, you know, I've had the food out there as well. Yeah, it's
Food's
good.
very good.
I had a prawn mayo panini roll.
Aye.
It was actually pretty banging.
Yeah.
To be fair,
That's
that's not the beach bar anyway.
No. there was like a good mixture of everything really at the beach bar, right?
Oh, there was just everything, anything and everything you
Yeah.
could ever want.
Like there was people in for sport, there was people in for music, there was people in for food, there was people in just for being in.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's it, because it was just a nice place to be. See, on a really nice day, you could sit out in the back deck and if you timed it right with the sun, because it was a bit of a sun trap.
Yeah.
It's where the walls were. It was. Oh no, that got knocked down, didn't it? Yeah. Well, the whole place got knocked down, but
Wow.
Not at this particular time.
no. But no, it was just the sunsets were unbelievable.
Oh yeah, man. Especially when the deck got built and that you could actually view them from like.
I'm not one for going, oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there, I was like, that's beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
That's work. I'm not one for taking pictures and stuff, but I was a few times, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's getting
Captured.
recorded.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I mean, it is pretty devastating that it's not coming by. Not just for like the obvious reasons of the, the family's business and that, but from a selfish point of view for us as consumers and employees, obviously.
Yeah, I guess it's. And I'm not gonna lie, it was the best place I've ever worked.
Yeah.
As much as I said I hated it, I loved it.
Yeah, and it was like a well in a way it was a well knitted community in that place.
Oh, yeah.
Like I remember we used to go on TripAdvisor and consciously look up bad reviews, so we could retort to them.
Yeah.
Like like some of us that were doing this weren't even like employees at the beach bar. We're just very territorial. Like this is a good place.
How dare you say that?
Oh, no, I loved looking up the bad ones. I never looked at the good ones.
Yeah.
I always looked.
They were
look
just
at the
like
bad ones, just for a giggle.
Yeah.
But I do think we definitely got more good reviews than we did.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't have been open if we got more bad reviews. Than
Yeah.
But see, the ones that did put bad reviews did still come back.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It was like, I had a bad experience doing there, but next week they're there with the family again. I said, well, piped in.
Do you remember the conspiracy theory of? Well, we don't even know it's a conspiracy theory, but do you remember the conspiracy theory that Scotty was up to no good on the bandit machines? Like he was trying to like
conspiracy theory. He was up to no good on it. I don't know if he.
I'm pretty sure Graham, like again, it was the whole kind of cat and mouse thing. I'm pretty sure Graham had tried to catch him out multiple times.
He
would win all the time, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would jackpot it like every 2 days.
Yeah.
I don't know if he just timed it right or. But even if nobody had been playing it, he just come in, he would just jackpot it.
Yeah.
It's just, well, fair enough, don't get me wrong, we got around the drinks in. Fair play to him. But aye, I don't know how he did it. As you get like magic fingers?
Who knows?
Is Elton Scone fingers?
Elton Scone fingers.
That's mental, eh?
Yeah.
I was just incredibly lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, there was always something, there was always some kind of scheme happening at the beach bar.
Oh, there was always a plan for a scheme.
Yeah.
Oh, there was always a plan. Everybody always had a plan.
Yeah.
Oh, this started as just a plan.
Yeah, I did feel for Graham. It was like he had to be like a private investigator as well as being a pub owner at the same time.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff that he had to try and curtail.
What
If he was
shady,
not,
what shady happenings? Or
if he wasn't collecting debt off of Duke for the cheese and bacon burger, it was trying to figure out who was jackpotting the machine so often.
Rooking his bandits.
Yeah.
I remember some of them. I remember when the bandits changed, but I think for me that was after obviously the refit and that happened. But the bandits, man, they used to make or break your night. Like,
oh yes,
go up there with like say like 30 quid and then end up leaving myself like a fiver, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake! And you just tempted all the time.
Yeah, no, I could that like I've only used a bandit once, right? And it was in the beach on 130 quid because that Deal or No Deal one. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, Deal or No Deal was used to shout at young Noel.
Yeah.
Noel, don't you be unturned to me.
So I won 30 quid, and I was like, oh, I could win more though, because it's a lot of money, right?
30 quid's 30 quid.
You know,
man.
like out of £3, you've times it by 10, right?
Yeah, exactly, man.
So I was like, I could probably make a bit more out of this, and I put the whole lot back in, but I won 30 quid on the last pound again. And then I learned my lesson. I was like, right, okay, 30 quid's my limit, obviously. So
It was the monkeys riding the Warthogs.
Yeah, there was like a kind of jungle themed
like,
band. Yeah.
I can't remember. It was jungle something, but it was a massively addictive game.
Yeah.
It's a bandit. It's supposed to be.
Well, yeah. There was a lot more colours, and you got to watch the three race. And I don't know why the monkeys and the warthogs both had their bums out. I never understood that. I was like, why? Aye.
I mean, some mysteries are best left
unsolved.
unsolved.
I was like, all right, whatever. But but I said you would put your money in. I usually go well too far with it. But I was like 50, 60, 70 quid in. The jackpot was almost 70 quid again. So like 50, 60 odd quid into it. So you get your spins, and you had to bet on what one of the. I think you get 3 bets. You could pick 3 out of 6. So half a chance of winning again. But more times than you lost, more times than you won.
Yeah.
See when you did, and then when you get the double jackpot,
the euphoria. Yeah.
oh yes.
Well, so would that be 140 then?
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay, bars are on me. And all that.
Human traffic court right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was just, like you said, it's just a great place for, I know it's a bit of a modern term, but vibes. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it was. It was good for all of us.
It was.
I enjoyed it.
What do you think people, not just us, because obviously we're biased, like, do you know what the irony of it was as well? We always sat at the northeast corner and joked that we'll be, like, whenever some kind of catastrophe happens,
we'll be
here sitting in the rubble, and then the place burnt down in a rubble.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, if we just hadn't opened our big mouths and...
Jinxed it.
Yeah.
It's about people came from all over the world.
Yeah, no, 100%.
There was a German couple. They used to stay at the back for a month in their caravan, and there was let's go like an outlet out the back. They would plug their caravan in there. The woman was in a big fancy electric wheelchair, and she was lovely. But they would stay. They would come for the folk festival. They would come for a week before the folk festival. Stay for the
banner
week of the folk festival, then stay there 2 weeks after. And she had many allergies, that woman.
Yeah,
but was always happy to accommodate because she was nice.
That's it.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like you said, it was quite a diverse range of people that came in and enjoyed it. And I think, like we're saying, it wasn't just us. That's what made it unique, right? Because it wasn't just like, oh, we've just got a good thing going on here. You could just sense it, even if you hadn't actually been a regular or whatever when you went in and whatnot. And you could see that there was a good relationship between staff, consumer. Sometimes staff and consumer were the same thing.
Yes,
yes.
Very much.
I think that's kind of like, I don't want to like say the word legacy. I guess legacy. We'll go with legacy, even though it might sound a bit cringe on my part. I guess that's the legacy it's going to leave behind, though, right? Is like
it was a legend.
Yeah, like, and it literally didn't just reach the local. Didn't just reach locally. It reached like around the world.
Literally,
do you know? And that's like crazy because like no other pub in the town did that.
No,
and I don't care what anyone says. I've been in all of them. No other pub did that.
Experienced.
So yeah, it is. I mean, it sucks talking about it now, man. Just because of I remember when it first. Like the day that it burned down, we all actually met up in the pub.
Yeah, went
to try and show some support and stuff.
I even set up a Snapchat group chat. I did. Like we're all good into the coolie.
And then obviously to show support in that because obviously the family were pretty devastated because like it'd been in their family for generations and obviously it's their business in it, so it's the big thing. And we're just talking about it. I was like thinking, like, my God, like, what are we gonna do now? Because
where are we going to go?
Exactly. Yeah. Obviously, then this place came to mind in that, and it was, and it was just kind of, you were lost, like you were like, I know that sounds extreme because people are like, oh, it's just a pub, and I was like, well, it was a lot more than that, like
to us it was, definitely. But the only people who didn't understand that are the ones who never went.
Yeah, for sure.
It was one of my favourite places to be.
I mean, sometimes it wasn't even for like the drinking purpose. Like I remember going down there and just having soda water and lime sometimes,
Yeah.
just for the conversation and like the
I used to go down just to play pool sometimes. Like sometimes even I used to like going there because they had the fancy jukebox as well.
I was connected to the interweb.
the interwebs.
Used
You
to
get all the tunes that you wanted.
Aye.
Mind you, most of my tunes would get skipped.
Yeah.
That one on Five Finger Death Punch. Just
Someone trying to enjoy a steak in the corner.
somebody said, ooh. That's not Ed Sheeran. So that's Five Finger Death Punch.
Like, you should have been in here when the nun was in here. Then you'd be real world experience.
Aye. Five Finger Death Punch on. A nun drink driving.
Aye.
A guy eating a steak.
Aye, someone complaining about getting peas and carrots when they ordered peas and carrots.
But his loon's fine with his burger.
Aye, but don't speak to his loon. How dare you speak to his loon about his burger
How dare
that he
you
enjoys
ask?
so much?
How dare you ask my son if everything's okay with his meat?
Yeah.
What an utter butthole that guy was.
Yeah. Might be actually pretty cool to get Graham on at some point on the podcast, you know, and do maybe like a beach bar part 2.
Yeah.
To like just talk about the whole process of him, like, you know, basically kind of running it day to day. Obviously, like I'm pretty sure like his sister and his mum were still involved and stuff like that.
Gay. I miss her.
And just like the whole experience of like
I see gay.
Just stop a bit.
I used
just
to
not
see
seen her.
gay pretty
Yeah,
much every other day when I worked at the Cope.
Yeah.
She used to come down and buy all the limes and lemons just for all prep. I was always like, all right, gay. She's like, oh yeah. She said, you coming up tonight? I was like, maybe.
I don't know why she did that because I always ordered in extra lemons and limes.
She always
Or
needed to buy
the
them.
bar.
Like, no,
you
I
never have enough though, right?
So
Corona's a popular commodity.
I'd rather have it and not need it than not have it and need it.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess, you know, we've talked pretty in depth about the beach bar today, haven't we?
We have,
and
actually,
to be fair, if we wanted to go over every single thing, that was quite brutal.
That was my neck.
I was about to say injury live on camera, but
no claim.
we've talked about it pretty much in depth today. But if we wanted to go into everything that we've seen done,
I would
be here a
for
while.
like
yeah,
a
we
year
would
and
be.
a half.
Yeah, it would like we
Literally.
only have 100 hours on the roadcaster left until we have to delete it.
What we are now?
108.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
So, yeah, but
It's going down.
no. It's like we've got 108 hours left. Not that we've recorded 108 hours.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I guess the last thing that we can kind of leave off on is if there's one memory that we'll take from the place. I know there's a lot, and then we've went over a few today.
If
that-
there's one more.
let's just say, like, I know this sounds a bit extreme because we're all still young chaps here, but
I don't feel it. I'm not gonna lie.
on paper we're still young chaps here.
Legally.
What's like one memory that would like flash before you, if it was to all like end tomorrow, because it was such a you know, it was a big part of people's lives up here. Do you know what I'm saying?
It would for me actually. I think it's probably going to be the work night out I had with the Cope. It wasn't my leaving day. It was our Christmas meal night out. We went for our meal down at the what's now the Salt Cellar.
Yeah. No, I can't avoid that place.
I would not recommend that place because the food came out and I actually thought it was rank. I didn't even eat my food. I was gutted. But then we went up to the beach bar and it just we absolutely sloshed. Absolutely, it was such a good night, and that was a night where I believe it ended with a bit of horizontal shuffle. But it wasn't that wasn't even the reason I left. I left because the beach are closed. Then
Right, let's not get started on that again. We've
that's my
talked
one.
that through. We've been over this.
work night out. Work night out, definitely.
I think mine is quite ridiculous, right? Because I don't know why it leaves such an impact on me. But I always associate the beach bar with comedy, and
definitely.
we've been talking about it today. And this is the kind of chats we would have been having at the beach bar, which is like I'm actually quite happy because, I mean, I'm happy doing the podcast anyway. Don't get me wrong, but like there's a sense of I don't know, like
joy.
yeah,
Yeah,
just because it's like we've not done this probably since we have drunk and stuff like that, but we've not actually got around a table, like had a drink, spoke about reminisce about old times and have a laugh.
Yeah,
like the you know, I'm not going to mention that again because I don't want to set everyone into fireworks again. But like this is the kind of stuff that we would be talking about at the beach, or And like some of the times where I could literally feel my ribcage hurting from laughing, some of the best memories that I'll ever have. But the one that stands out the most for some reason is when Christopher, when what's the word? A customer stunnered Lugs. Do you ever watch the old pro wrestling move? And it was really good. Like, if Lugs still has it on his phone or his Facebook or something, I'll have to get him to show you it at some point, because it's actually brilliant. Like, you know how, like, because WWE superstar, like, they're performers, aren't they? Like, it's like a form of acting, and like you would think, was it? Probably wouldn't. It looked exactly like what it would look like on the TV, and it was absolutely hilarious because it happened in the beach bar dance hall. So yeah, I don't know why that one stands out, because there's probably more sentimental ones. A lot of the poems that we used to write on the notes. We can probably say that now because it's not a place anymore. So
sort of descriptions of people on the tickets. If it didn't have a table number.
Graham stealing Scott's lottery ticket, if you remember that.
Oh yes.
Well, when he stole it, he basically put an insurance policy on it.
He did actually.
He got Scott the lottery ticket he wanted, but he had signed the back of it. So had Scott won the lottery, that ticket would have been Graham Fleming's.
Which is
it's an evil genius move.
A big brain move.
Yes.
That's a big brain move.
Graham's a businessman and he's a businessman.
Yeah. Definitely, man.
Anyway.
So wait, what's your one?
Search that old library.
I can laugh about it now.
Okay.
But it was definitely when he'd ripped my motor off into the wall.
What?
The rumours that went about Lossie was brutal. And yes, there was drink driving involved, but I wasn't driving because I physically couldn't. That is why he'd lost his licence. He lost his licence, I lost a car. And I get 6 points for giving him the keys. But I was also in the car. So yes, we couldn't get a taxi. It was after all walking.
And you just refused to walk?
Yeah, well, I couldn't. Physically couldn't, so it was pushing it in. I sat in the motor. I was still my car keys. Sit in the motor, trying for a taxi. Saves getting soaking in. He just said, "What, we just drive?" I was like, "Well, no, I'm not. I physically can't." That was absolutely how. But then there's no get wrong, I've been on it all day. I think he'd only had a few drinks, which is still, I do not condone. That's stupid move, small brain move.
Yeah.
So I ended up going for a wee rasp about. And taking the car back to the beach bar. Don't get me wrong, my wee 306 XSI, cracking wee motor. It was like a go-kart. Pretty quick. So we were belting a bit. Putting the car back. Obviously, came down. Top of the hill. A bit too much beans. And a bit of air was caught. So I was like, brake? Would you like to brake? I was like, I am. And we hit the gravel.
And just slid.
Bang, right into the wall. And I was like, wow.
I think the funny thing about that is, like, obviously, there was like implications after that, which we won't go into because obviously we can't really discuss them on the podcast. No.
But yes.
There
was accusations.
They allegedly button got pushed a couple of times.
Always.
But the funny thing about it was you turned up to work the next day.
We got arrested.
Yeah.
For, I don't know, what? Karma? I'm presuming karma. The police were just happened to be driving past us. My car's pissing a smoke.
Yeah.
Me and he are covered in airbag dust. Running away. But you know what the stupidest thing is?
What?
I take the keys out of the ignition after we hit the wall. And I locked the motor. Why did I lock the car? It's not like anybody was going to take it. It was goosed. But to be honest, Graham was furious, but also found it quite funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's it.
Gay, however.
No.
She did not find it funny.
There was a little more seriousness on that part. And
I kind of got away with that one. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Because definitely we should have been sacked.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah.
Well, I was about to say there was a rumor that no one can get sacked from there, but when that happened, a lot of people started getting sacked. Yeah. So anyway, that is it for the Beach Bar episode, the one that we promised like 300 years ago, and now we finally got round to doing.
If there was a part,
I'm sure there
could be a part.
There can be a part
50.
2. You know what? If we get to a position of where this is our sole income, we will do a part 2 where we can push
This is me just shouting it.
Push the boat out a bit more.
Push the boundaries a bit more. Yes.
I was saying I worked 7 to 8 hours last week.
Yeah.
That's brutal. And it was toasty.
Yeah. Oh well, especially at this time of year, right?
Mm. So the griddle fryers and whatnot. That's my area. And it was. I just had the probe. I religiously probe my food temperature checking.
Yeah.
I just religiously, and just probe sitting there. 53.1 degrees.
Madness.
Every now and again you would get a wee breeze. You're like, whoa,
summertime for you.
That's made my trousers tight.
So what? This is episode 10. When's this one coming out?
This week.
This one will be out
Friday.
This Friday.
So we're going to do an intermission now, and then we've got episode 11, which we're recording later on today, and then I'm going to quickly maneuver this onto all that kind of stuff. And then we've got Chris Grant coming on episode 12, and then episode 13 is the Zodiac one, which I've called episode 12 in the episode. So
I was wondering why I was getting a little bit confused.
I just have to put up with that. But anyway, because we're all together again since like episode 3. We can have your outro, and we can have the outro that we made for you as well.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, stay fresh, ring a bell.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Yes.
And take care, folks, from the NEC.
Yeah, enjoy.
This podcast is also available on Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocketcasts, RadioPublic, and Spotify.